faces are wide.
We can have it. All right. Welcome.
Hello. Hello.
We'll go ahead and get started in just a few minutes here. Let us know if you're on. Oh, we should do a giveaway too.
Okay.
I'll think of something. I'll think of something as we do this. All right. And when we do our Facebook Lives, if you do ask questions and participate, we do some giveaways. So please comment, ask questions, let us know you're there so that you can be in the raffle. How do I look on here? Do I have to like say much?
Yeah. So you just.
And I'll see everyone's comments on here?
Yep.
Okay. Okey-dokey.
Fix your hair. We're good.
Okay, so. All right. When this one freezes, is it just because of the connection here? I'm assuming we're good because it's on there, right? I think that's what's just frozen.
I think is correct.
So,
Like it's just behind and it'll freeze up, but then it'll continue.
Yeah.
I think so. But, and again, I am not the electronic person here. That is Melissa.
mhm. And that one's going.
My face is like.
Love it. Okay. So we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome to Facebook Live. Thank you for joining us. I have Monica, our reflexologist, with us today, and Carol, who is newest to our team. She does mediumship and Reiki, and Melissa's going to be joining us when she finishes up working up at the front desk for us today. Melissa does our Akashic Records readings. And so we are all here to answer any questions about any topic. We do have certain topics that we're going to talk about, but of course, if you ask us anything not on topic, we would love to answer that for you as well. We're going to be talking about lots of different things. Monica's going to be telling us about some oils, especially for this time of year, summer. I'm going to be talking about some health-related things that I'm seeing going on now. And Carol's going to tell us a little bit about herself and how she does her readings. And you'll be able to get to know Carol. We all love her. She does great work here. So we love to introduce her today. Let's see. So do you want to start with some of the?
Yeah.
So Monica's going to tell us about some of the oils to use during this time of year. How to apply them, which ones to avoid, and which ones to use. Monica does a great detox treatment with the reflexology. If you haven't had that done, schedule that. It's a clay mask that she uses to help pull out impurities, but then you also soak in great minerals, so you leave not feeling drained, but actually very energized and stimulated. Everyone loves them. Alrighty.
Yeah, so with the detox, it's just really good to do like you should do it regularly, like every few weeks, but mainly I will use it like if, say, I had a long weekend and there was a wedding or something and I wasn't eating right and I just feel kind of like tired and blah, that's a good time to do it. If you're just tired or feeling run down, it's a good time to do it. After you have gotten, like, if you were sick or something like that, is another good time to come in and do it. It takes like a half an hour. A lot of people will do reflexology with it because with the reflexology, it's a little bit of a detox too. So they're just like, it just packs a punch to do it together that way. So as far as like summertime stuff, oils are really great. I cannot live without, like, there's certain oils, like I camp a lot. So there's like lavender, tea tree oil, for all kinds of things. So you figure like an insect repellent kind of a thing, you can diffuse them. Like if you're, say, anywhere inside, if you have worried about bugs, or like for me, we have a camper, so we diffuse in the camper in the oil diffuser, and you would put in there, like, there's blends that you can buy, like Plant Therapy has theirs, and I think it's like, what is it? Is it Bug Off or something like that? And it would have stuff in it, like, and you could make your own too, where you would put up to like 5 drops of these oils in there. And so the ones
And
for
Monica can
insect,
custom make for you as well. She does a lot
Yeah.
of that for.
yeah, so I
Our
mean,
patients as well.
you could spray it on, or you could diffuse it. So that would be things like the citronella essential oil, lemon eucalyptus is a really good one, lemongrass is another one, lavender, tea tree, clove, and like I said, some of them come in the blends already made, and you just put like 5 drops in the diffuser. Otherwise, you would get like a 4-ounce spray bottle. We do have like smaller ones here. I think they're more like 2 ounce. So you would just probably put a total of like 10 to 15 drops of all of these essential oils, or some of them. Like I would definitely at least have the citronella and the lemon eucalyptus seems to be like the most popular, but you could play around with it. Some people do good. I know you like lavender. Those are
I
really
like
good.
straight up lavender
Straight up lavender.
on my skin if I'm going, and it's like I get chewed up pretty bad if I go out there. So
Mhm.
I just lather on the lavender
Mhm.
on my head,
Yeah.
all over, anything exposed, and I do very well with that.
Yeah, so I mean, you kind of have to play around with them. There's a lot of studies done saying that like lemon eucalyptus is better than DEET, and they have found that it's really, really good. Another option is to do an unscented lotion, and you could put a couple drops of these, one of these or 2 of these oils, and like apply it that way. I like the spray, like I said, the spray bottle. Usually like a 4-ounce spray bottle is good, and you would do a couple ounces of witch hazel, a couple ounces of distilled water, and then maybe like 20 drops around there of your oils of choice, and then you just shake it up and you put it on. If you're wanting to use it on little kids, I would say like ages, at least should be at least like 3 years old. And you would do, I think the safest would be like lavender and then the lemon eucalyptus. So that's the bug spray. Another good one to talk about is a lice preventative spray. So if your kids go away to camp, you can do the same thing with the spray bottle, except for I would use tea tree oil and lavender. Those are like the most popular, and it doesn't leave their hair like with a film or greasy or anything like that. You just spray it through and then comb it on, and that's great. That's a really good idea. And then one more that's really important is sunburn, because like it just happens, you put on your sunblock and you still end up with sunburn. If you want to stop your skin from peeling or just take away any of the inflammation and the redness, you'll do like a little bit of aloe or unscented lotion and a couple drops of lavender essential oil and just rub it on, and it takes away the redness almost instantly. You could even do sandalwood is another one, frankincense, and you could even do a couple drops of each of those oils, but definitely lavender. And then bug bites too, it's another big one. Basil is the most popular one, right after lavender, for any kind of bug bites, bee stings, mosquito bites. And there's some other ones too. There's so many oils for like everything, but those are the most popular ones, I would say.
If you have the hemp balm that we sell here too, that's excellent for sunburn bug bites as well. If you have a favorite oil, I would even mix that onto the hemp balm as well. That's really good for all skin conditions.
And you will not peel, you will not blister. You'll be like, wow, I feel so much better. So yeah.
Did we talk about avoiding
those citrus oils in the sunlight? So or even tanning beds, because that can happen too. Just be aware of like using anything like that topically. I would just stick to like spraying it on your clothes maybe, and I don't even think that they shouldn't like stain your clothes or anything. And diffusing too.
So just watch your citrus oils. If they're in any of your sprays, don't use them in the sun. They will burn the skin. And so stick with more like your lavender, frankincense if you are putting something on while still in the sunlight. Alrighty, thank you. I'm gonna go back to you because I'm gonna talk about more like points on the feet. I'm gonna jump over to Carol, and I'm just gonna have you give us a quick intro.
Okay, my name is Carol. I got into this in 2010. I had a stroke, which I started meditating because it was exercise for the brain, I heard. And within, actually right away, my brother that passed when I was younger came to me. And then within months, other people's loved ones started coming to me. And then 11 months later, my older brother passed away. And during this time, we got super close and just read a lot of self-development books and healings and all kinds of stuff like that, and spiritual books. And then he passed away. And then I was kind of determined to really do all I can do to connect with him even more. So I kind of made it about that. And a friend in a mediumship course that I took suggested Reiki. So I took Reiki with her. He did come through a message, but what I started noticing was different things were coming up too. So I was getting healings and I felt better, and I really went through a lot of stuff. So that went on for, I think it was 3 years, 2013, I took a Reiki course and then took all the levels, and then I started doing Reiki, and mediumship was still there. So I was just combining them. And then a couple years ago, I decided to try to separate them a little bit and just offer mediumship and Reiki. So that's pretty much how it kind of happened for me.
And when I met her, I said, you have to do them both because you're great at them both. And she is. And even if it's not intentional, she does understand energy and really helps when you're dealing with loss and grief. It's hard. And so it's important to be with someone who understands energy and can help you process the information coming through and help you deal with the emotions that come up from missing someone, for understanding the things that are coming through. It's hard to process that all the time because of all the emotional blockages in the body. And so Carol just does a really great job of getting your body grounded and helping you to really process the information that's coming through. So even when you're just doing a mediumship session with her, she is still mindful of the energy, and she, you just can't take that out of her. So she does help the information to be processed more easily with more compassion. But when you do the Reiki sessions with her as well, I think sometimes too, you can kind of tap into a little bit more with what she's going through as well, especially if you're a little bit more sensitive to the energy work. And do you have any like stories you want to share? Anything that pops out, like some of your favorite experiences, or whether you were in the class or with a client, or you don't tell us their name or anything, but
There's been so many. I'm literally going.
Okay, don't worry. If something
I'll
pops
try to
up,
think
we'll
of
see.
one. Yeah.
And then just remember, if you guys have any questions, and make sure you pop in and say hello, because we are going to be doing a raffle. And so if we have you pop up on the screen here asking questions or just saying hi, we'll get you in that raffle. And so if you have questions for anybody, go ahead and let us know. Welcome, Melissa. And Melissa wrote the article on the full moon that was in our constant contact on Facebook, on Instagram, I think as well. And so if you have any questions about the full moon energies or crystals to be using, go ahead and you can ask those questions to her as well. This one I can't tell anything. That's okay. So what I wanted to talk a little bit about, I wanted to get into, let me do the physical body stuff first. There is, Monica was talking about all those things too. We do sell a great homeopathic, I know you can't really see it, but it's called Bug Bouncer. And you can take that one. Hi Joyce, hi Janelle. No, I see them. I think it's just kind of behind. Can we tell on there if anyone's, I'm only getting it on here.
It's a
Okay, that's okay. 10 drops 3 times a day, especially like if you're camping or you're outside. That one just deters the bugs from thinking that you're something tasty. It works
I need
great.
that. Some people, like my husband does not get bit by mosquitoes and my one daughter does not. And then there's me and my other daughter get like chewed alive.
Right.
It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
But we've started the bug bouncer because we're always outside. But.
Yeah. So that's a great one for this time of year for the internal part. And then I would still always use the oils as well.
Yeah.
Another thing with all of the rain and the dampness that's been going on, I've been seeing so much sinus infection, bacteria, like all these things getting stuck in the body. And so I just wanted to go over like a lot of ear things, dizziness or ears clogged or ear infections. The BioPro ENT, this is a chewable probiotic that really helps to clear all the upper passageways so you don't swallow it. So as you chew it, it like instantly helps to relieve a lot of the congestion that's in the upper. Also some like just pressure points in Chinese medicine right underneath your collarbone. You can kind of like find a tender spot in there usually. You can press on there or you can just kind of take your fists and just pound lightly in that area, but it helps to break up a lot of like the phlegm and congestion in that area. With all of this, I'm just seeing so many things. People are getting sick, it's lingering, so the dampness like locks it in the body. So you really want to do things to help loosen that up. You want to do like lymphatic massages or the dry skin brushing where you help to clean up your lymphatic system. The neti pot, if you like to do that, just steaming, circulation in general. John, who did the Qigong here, told us just about arm swings. We have a whole book on it, but just anything to help circulation going and to get things moving and uncongested in the body. There are points here too, like right below the eyebrows, underneath the cheekbones is a spot. Usually people will be sore if they get congestion in there. But anytime you're doing anything around the face, please be very, very gentle in your movements because there are all these little blood vessels all around. And so if you are doing this too hard, you can give yourself a black eye. So just very gentle, and especially like points in front of the ear. You can just tap in those areas too. Hi, Haley. Haley, who does our hypnosis and past life regression, has joined. So if you have any questions, we can ask her and get those answers to you too. But just tapping in those areas just to help get those things moving. Smart Silver is a nice little thing too. This is like the closest form to like a homeopathic antibiotic that you can help. You can spray that right in the ear for ear infections. You can spray it in the eye for styes in the eye or infections, and you take it internally as well. You can spray it on any part of the body. It helps with wound healing and cleaning out wounds as well. Okay, so those are my favorites for this time of year. And now I wanted to talk about blocked chakras. Okay, and now you guys can all pop in on this with me too. Okay, so I really believe if there's a block in our chakra, it's there because of us. There's not, all you really have to do is set your intention to open it and your chakra opens. It's really that simple. But as soon as you get triggered again, it can close again, it can shut again. And so you want to eventually get to find out why that's getting blocked, what's going on physically, emotionally, spiritually, that's causing that. But in order to open it, it's really very simple. And if you feel like you can't do it, then you call on a guide who you think you can. So Archangel Raphael, Jesus, whoever's your guide, your higher self, you can just kind of go through a chakra opening, clearing, and just ask them to get everything flowing. And I think what I'm seeing again with like all of this stuff like kind of getting buried in the body is I'm seeing that this energy flow is not moving as it should, and so things are taking longer to heal. Things are taking longer to manifest. It's just like because it's getting stuck somewhere in the body. And so just by kind of going through, and you don't even really have to know much about the chakras or what they're doing. There's 7 of them, so you can count chakra 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and ask your guide to open all of them and get the energy flowing, and then try working on whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, whether it be an ache and pain that seems to not go away, a problem that you keep coming up to, illness in the body, all the sinus stuff that's coming up. Get the energy flowing. Make sure that you have all that open so that whatever treatments that you're doing with that are going to work quicker and more efficiently. I'm going to, does anyone else want to jump in on that one?
Well, with the block chakras, asking the questions, that's really important. If you don't know anything about chakras, I think playing the game of like, where do I feel this in my body, and kind of sitting and just paying attention to where in your body you start to feel different like aches or pains. You can just go back on Google and say like, what chakra is in the center of my chest, or at the base of my spine, and you're going to get a whole bunch of information about that. There's a lot of books that we have here that are really nice for chakra information, basic starter ones. But I like the whys. Why do I feel this way? Why did I react this way? What triggered me in this way to react? And then kind of it's easier to change your patterns when you understand where they're coming from and why you started doing it that way. So kind of doing that self-work, that's really important. And with that full moon stuff, I feel like now is a great time to do this work because manifestation is at an all-time high. So creativity is high. We're in a fire sign of Sagittarius. Passion is high. There's complicated emotions in this. So being able to sort through them clears your heart, clears your mind. Manifestation takes place a lot easier. A crystal I did not put on there, which I thought was really funny, was labradorite.
Oh,
I know.
Yeah.
Labradorite is always on all of the full moon, new moon crystal suggestions, and I forgot it this time. But that one is a great one to work with for the self-awareness kind of stuff.
So to piggyback on some of that too, what I've been seeing, it's more than like the asking part with manifestation or anything that we're doing right now. The like, God, I would really like blah, blah, blah. Part of the problem with that is in our inability to receive and inability to believe that we deserve whatever we are asking for. And this is a lot of solar plexus energy. So we can know that we deserve anything, that we're loved unconditionally. We know all of these things as a child of light. But then in this body, we have things, judgments about what's good and bad, what we do deserve. And that's where I'll see a lot of this, like what kind of blocks us from getting exactly where we need to go. And so even if it's like when you're trying to manifest something, throw in, like, help me believe that I deserve this. Because a lot of times it's like, God, can you blah, 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 if you have time. And I know so-and-so, is really sick. And so they probably need your prayers more. And on a spiritual level, we know, like, it doesn't work like that. And like, you don't get to pick one person. Like, every single person can receive whatever they want at the same time. But there's this thing, even like on a huge level, like, we're all sinners here on earth. We're supposed to suffer, and then whoever suffers the greatest gets to have eternal life in heaven. That's pick their heaven, whatever they want. And so, like, deep down inside, we really don't believe that we sinners can have whatever it is that we want if we don't work hard enough for it or suffer enough for it. And that thought is like 2,000 years old now. That was supposed to be kiboshed a long time ago, and we still carry a lot of that with us. So with asking for all of that, ask also for the unconditional love to be received, to feel deserving of that with whatever it is that you're asking for. Some of the crystals I picked for that, of course, are citrine, which is great for solar plexus, aquamarine.
I've been working with that.
Right?
Yeah.
Aquamarine reminds me of the Mother Mary. And so again, that to me triggers some of the solar plexus stuff. So like this relationship with my mother of what I do deserve. And so I love working with that one, to be like showered with unconditional love and deserving of things. Red calcite. This one I've been feeling so much lately, and I'll say it. It reminds me of placenta, which kind of grosses me out. But again,
Because
like,
the way it looks,
like the first time I hold it, I thought I was like in the womb, and I saw like the placenta.
so it's like nourishment.
Yes. So like so for me, that is because where we're blocked usually in the believing we're deserving is in those lower chakras. But that brought me like right to the womb of like when you came here, like you were probably excited, like, I'm going to go do this and I'm going to change the world like this and I'm going to love like this. And so it was like remembering all of those things and bringing that forth until you had that experience that was like, oh, can I do this? So that's like a little bit more like, to me, like remembrance of what you came and that you are nurtured here on the way. And then of course, rose quartz, which is unconditional love. So all of those, with really like integrating into the body, all of those things that we know spiritually, but that are blocking us from really grabbing that, accepting that, and changing our lives, shining our lights 100% the way that we were meant to be doing.
I've been seeing a lot of like unworthiness coming up, even for me, like with this full moon. This full moon, I felt like a lot of fears, but unworthiness was one that I kind of saw for the past couple weeks. Even asking yourself, what do I believe I deserve? And kind of seeing where that takes you, looking at your life that you created right now, where you are, what you have, what you want, what you think you can get. All of that all kind of plays into that worthiness. And even a lot of worthiness comes from our parents too, that's kind of stuff that we learned growing up. We learned we're alive, when we're in the womb. So we're taking all this stuff in, even before we make it here. So I think asking those questions, working with those are great crystals to do that. Yeah.
So just meditating with them or wearing them,
Pockets,
like setting an intention.
yeah. Rolling them.
Or
Like
even
Carol's
just,
doing.
like just see how you feel. Like when you have it in your hand that day, see how you felt that day. Like at the end of the day, just kind of like observe like any differences in how you were feeling. but yeah, if you have a specific intention, then use it with that crystal.
And the way that I learned them, Ronak and I used to just play games with them. Like, what do you feel with this crystal? And we would just sit a couple seconds. That's all you need. Just see where in your body you feel it. See what kind of thoughts come to your head. That's a great way to learn them. And then you can Google it. But just see what you feel with it.
What is this one?
That one's sunstone.
What is it for?
Why did you grab it?
Yeah, that's why, because I'm listening, I grabbed it. Felt like nurturing, like I wanted like comfort or some kind of peace.
Yeah,
What is it?
it's uplifting. So it's like the sun,
Yeah.
opposite of the moon, so but yeah, the warmth probably. But and usually you are like, you don't really have to know about crystals. When you go and you see like all of them there's one that's gonna be like pretty to you. You're gonna be like, oh, that's the one I like. And so grab that one. You don't have to like look like what's the best stone for blah blah blah. If you grab a stone, if you look at them and you grab one and you're like, that's the one that I need, I guarantee on any Google search you'll eventually find the meaning that you're trying to find with it. But it's that attraction that she drops it. But it's that attraction that you have towards it that actually resonates with your energy. That's listening to the energy flow of your chakras and what's in your aura. So like you'll just be attracted to it. You know that like that's just what's needed at that moment. And that's the best way to work with crystals at first. Then look up their meaning and see how that fits into however you were feeling that day when you picked it.
I always go for like green ones, and I know that's like could be like heart chakra energy, and yeah, that's what I need.
Yeah. My daughter will always come in and pick the same one every time, malachite.
Yeah.
And we have them like all over the floor of the house. And every time she comes in, she grabs another one, and I'm like, honey, you already have those. She's like, I know, Mama, but I need this one. And so I pick some up and put them back sometimes, but she knows that is the one that she needs, that makes her feel better. And so you just go with that. That also helps to develop your intuition, which is what we're going to kind of jump into now. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not getting comments, so I'm sorry if you guys are commenting. But anything that's on there, we will eventually go back and I don't know if I can refresh this. I'll see if I can get those, or maybe I'll ask Melissa to grab her phone.
I was gonna say, do you want me to get my phone and see if it's
Yeah,
showing up on
you
there?
want to see? Thank you. Okay, so speaking with intuition, really all this basically is having soul to soul conversations. When we do yoga and you end with namaste, basically what that means is you acknowledge that you are a soul, I am a soul. And when we go to this place in our hearts, we know that we are connected to one source. Okay, God, universe, source, whatever you want to call, whatever makes you comfortable. But we all share the same source of energy. And so when I go back into my source and you go back into your source, we're the same. And so then there's just different ways of how do you connect to that energy. So you usually use your heart. So a lot of your heart, you usually use these upper chakras, heart, throat, third eye, or crown is how you're going to be receiving information. And you'll just know by how when you ask a question or you do a meditation, what you see, feel, hear, think, and whatever one that is, use it. That's yours. Some people get discouraged because we'll have meditations and someone will see all of these great things and they're like, I didn't see anything, but I felt certain things, or I didn't feel anything, but I heard some words come into my head. And whatever it is, that's your way, and develop that as strong as you can. And we can all help you develop that more, but really it's just pay attention. Don't judge, don't compare, but just keep kind of playing with how you're receiving this information. One of the things I'll always tell people is to play a game with the universe. And this is just to realize that you're not alone in this world, and that the universe is there listening and playing back. So the first thing I say is just ask a real simple question like, okay, if I really have someone out there looking over me, protecting me, guiding me, prove it. And within the next 3 days, you should receive information, whether it's pop-ups on your social media, songs you hear on the radio, bumper stickers on the car in front of you. You'll get confirmation that says, hey, yeah, I'm here. I'm right here. You might get names, you might get angels, you might get whatever, you might get number signals. And then once you get that, you can start getting a little bit more specific. Hi, Ronnie. Ronnie, who does our Reiki here as well, and our shadow work and meditation, she's joined us also. If you have questions for her, we can pass those on too, maybe. Did you get?
It's the same. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think you're caught up.
Okay. Alrighty.
So today I just did the same thing where I was like, God, if you really hear me, show me a white feather. And then I went for like a run today, and I was thinking like, it'd be perfect if I saw the feather today, but I'm like, it's not going to happen like right now. So I usually do like the 3 days. It seems like 3 days. So I'm like, by Friday, if I could see this white feather, and I know I will. I always get what I ask for, but in a reasonable amount of time. Like it's not going to like, feathers aren't going to start flying all over right now, like landing on me, but yeah.
Yeah. And in your guides, like you're nice. You're like, well, I know I'll get it someday. But like, I'm not like that. I'm I need an answer, and then I need confirmation of it twice, or else I'm not going to believe it. And so I do. But now it's so funny because I get like 1, 2, 3, like I get my answers like right away. So I know like they don't care. They know that's how I receive the information, and that's what I'm looking for, and that's how I receive it. So if you're a skeptic like me, then yeah, you can say, I'm not going to just do like, oh, that was a coincidence. And now I get like 3 messages right in a row. But that does help to increase your faith in things. Okay, so I have a question. I want to wait for Melissa here too, so I can read this one because she's our moon girl. Actually, I'll go ahead and say it, and then we can jump in, and then I know Melissa will comment on it too. Question, I felt like I was having a battle with myself Sunday evening, a lot of negative energy. Monday evening, I noticed it was a full moon. How do I work with the feeling moods with the full moon? So with the full moon, the saying comes, that which we resist persists. Okay, so the full moon is an opportunity to let go of what is no longer serving you. It's an energy that pulls all of that stuff away from us. If you work with crystals, like a magnetic, like hematite, sometimes when I'm doing some energy work, I'll just swipe the body with the magnetic crystal to help just pull off anything that is unlike your true energy. And you can't overdo it because you can't take away what is yours, what is your true energy. But you can release all of these things, doubt, negativity, fear, all of that can be washed off of the body. And so when the full moon comes, what happens is it's like garbage day. And the moon is saying like, give me all the crap that no longer serves you, that you don't need, that's weighing you down, and let me take it. But it takes it kind of forcefully. And so sometimes if we are dealing with something and someone's like, let me take that from you, sometimes we're like, wait, no, I'm not done with that. I'm still upset about that. I'm still hurt about that. Sometimes we don't realize that holding on to those types of things is hurting us more than waiting for an apology or something good to come from it. And so if you can try in a full moon to be a little more open and trusting that it's going to help release some of these things that are not letting you live to your full potential. During a new moon, it's a little bit opposite. During a new moon, you can like plant a seed for manifestation or a goal, and you can send that with the new moon energy to hope to bring that forth. But then again, come the new moon, release anything that might be an obstacle that gets in the way of that. There are so many crystals that you can use, so I'm going to ask Melissa to help us with the crystals that comes in. The foot detoxes, Epsom salt baths, anything to help ground the energy, because again, sometimes this energy does feel forceful, especially if there is a lot of emotional stuff going on during that time, or even if you are working with letting go, but it just seems overwhelming. Whenever things seem overwhelming, again, asking the question to the universe, when we feel alone, this world gets a lot tougher. And so knowing that you always have guides to call upon to help you makes all of this easier. So if you feel some of those symptoms coming up because of the full moon, then ask your guides to help you with it. Ask them to help with the release process. Ask them to fill you back up wherever you're feeling any of these things coming on. Did you want to add anything?
Yeah, I feel like with the energy, I kind of like I roll with it. Like if I feel that I need to rest, then I rest. A lot of the time it is like feeling really frustrated for me, and even like anxiety. So running or any form of like physical movement it forces me to breathe, it grounds me, and then at the same time, as things are just jumping into my head, like these negative thoughts or frustrations, I just picture them like going behind me. I'm not trying to like run away from my fears or anything like that. It's just more like it's not helpful. It's a negative thought, and I'm just going to let it go. And it's a moving meditation. It's grounding. So you might just need to like do something to release that energy physically, or maybe the opposite would be to like rest and just do some breathing. And like you said, the foot soaks, like that's a really good way to ground and just breathe, like the Himalayan salt, or not the Himalayan, the
Epsom.
Epsom.
Mhm.
And then adding like essential oils to those would be really helpful and calming.
I would also suggest the Reiki,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes we don't even know what that is that we're resisting. We don't even know what's causing that to happen. Like, if I knew how to do that, I would do it. So sometimes we need help with that. And so, do you want to talk a little bit about how you?
I was just going to say some of the activity for me, and also just really being in the present moment, because a lot of times like you're really scattered and you just like can't focus or during this time, and just consciously just knowing okay, there's a full moon, I'm scattered, and just trying to really be present with where you are, whether it's working out, whether it's sitting with a client, whether it's sitting with a friend, your children, whatever it is, but just trying to have that awareness and being present.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, Lena says, hi, Mom.
Hi, Lena.
And hi, Nikki. Okay. And hi, Elsa. So grounding is very important during that time. And one of the mudras that I love for that, so mudras are hand positions that you can do. I do the acupuncture, and so it's like you can stimulate 2 points on the body. If I could just touch, because one of my hands acts as like a negative and a positive, like a battery. So if I touch 2 acupuncture points, I can get a circuit of energy going in the body. I can use needles for that. I can use my hands. I could use anything really just to get that going. But you can do this all yourself just by understanding hand positions and getting your energy flowing in certain ways. So a great one for grounding that my sister teaches, she does the yoga here too, and she brings a lot of the mudras into her, especially restorative classes. Hi, Debbie. And so it's called Bhu Mudra. And basically what you do is you make the peace sign with both hands. And what you do is you place those, if you're sitting on the ground, you can place them right on the ground. Or if you're sitting in a chair, you can place them right on your thighs. And you just sit like that for a minute. And like immediately when I do that, like I feel, your feet would be flat on the ground. But I feel my feet get, like I can feel all the energy in my feet. And it just helps to like really ground and connect your energy. So you can do that after any type of energy service, after a deep meditation, or just whenever you're feeling really overwhelmed. It just takes a few seconds and you just sit in that mudra, and you usually feel like all of the energy just really go to your feet. So great for anxiety when you're kind of feeling like dizzy, lightheaded, and you just need to feel like more sturdy in yourself. Hey, Bo. How's Indiana? Miss you. Okay, so crystals that help with grounding. All of your black crystals, all of your red crystals are going to help with grounding, but also any of those ones, again, that like that you are just attracted to for whatever reason. Trust in your body, that your body knows. Trust in your feelings. And then I was going to go back a little bit into the, I hope we answered your question. If you have any more. Oh, KT, hi. Hi, Carol. That's your, someone in your family.
Yes. Katie. Yes.
Okay, so they're saying hi to you.
Oh.
Hi, Katie. Okay, any insight with navigating this full moon energy? So Melissa did write something, I think it's on this Facebook page too. So she writes articles all the time to help with this full moon energy. And so the first thing is not resisting, but probably asking a little bit more questions, then a little bit deeper, like where is it hurting? Where is it bothering you? What's going on? And again, for like more specific things, I would definitely say reflexology, Reiki, to help move this energy a little bit more.
It's gotta be like Lena.
And Lena's like, hi, Dad. Lena, your dad is not here. but we'll tell him hi. Sorry, that was funny. That's cute. So if you have anything specific too about what you're feeling with this full moon energy, like really use it. Use this full moon energy. Like whenever the energy shift, change, like everything is for us. So whenever the stars are in a certain way, however things are lined up, use it. Don't think it's like bad or a curse or, oh, that's in retrograde. Use it. Like, oh, I get to go back and do that over again? Cool. So just, oops, you're so cute. So don't be afraid of all of these things that are coming. Know that everything that's going on in the world right now is for you. So utilize that full moon energy. Be ready. Just be ready for it. Ready to let go, to release. If it gets you anywhere, if it was a hard one for you, ask for help with it. So we all do it with one another.
And it was a Sagittarius one, and I'm Sagittarius, so I felt like it was myself and like my usual like issues, whatever, however you want to call it, but like things that pop up for me, certain emotions, and they were like super amplified. It was really intense. A lot of it is like, it's passion. So it's kind of intense feelings about things. A lot of like stuff with relationships, or like self-love. So if you're feeling like alone or nobody loves me or people don't get me, I feel like that was kind of like this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just
Actually, I
have to,
kept
like,
seeing
really-
faces yesterday and everything, and that it keeps going back to like solar plexus for me with all of that kind of stuff. So like your uniqueness,
Mhm.
what you offer, are people noticing it? Do they
Validate
see it?
yourself. Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, well, this is just what I need from me that I feel like for whatever reason I'm not getting. So you kind of have to like compliment yourself and say good job for the smallest things, because I think the Sagittarius one is like the fire. So it's really, isn't it? It's kind of like we're hard on ourselves with this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would match everything that I've been feeling. I haven't really looked much into it. My son always wants to make moon water. I try to make awareness as much as possible. But yeah, for me personally, it's like I have ADHD, can't focus. So is the moon water like you put the water out in the full moon?
And yeah,
I think that'd be great.
you could put crystals in there
Yeah,
too.
I would even
Mhm.
surround it with crystals and go ahead and put that out there, let that energy charge, and I would drink that. I would love it. And when all of that comes up into the head, I think that's all it. Like, what I notice is we're really good at distracting ourselves. There's so much to be worried about, busy about, all these other things that are going on in our lives. And so a lot of times, like at night, those things that like we buried down, they start like coming up. And so we might have trouble sleeping, or we'll get distracted again and try to think about work the next day. Or so when all of this stuff starts coming up, I think it's because we haven't done enough from full moon to full moon in order to discharge some of that energy, or just listen. Like, not everything has to be a therapy session. Sometimes things just need to be acknowledged. And so if something happened, if a conversation came up and someone said something and it triggered me, and if it's 2 weeks now and I can't let it go, I gotta go look at that a little bit more. Like, when was the first time that ever happened? Or I don't have to get too deep into it, but I just have to say, wow, that upset me. I really want to work on letting that go, or if I can, or ask for help, ask for guidance, or get some help with some of my friends and say, this came up and I don't know what to do with it. And I think if we would do a little bit more of that in between full moon to full moon, the full moon wouldn't be as rough either. And so go through that. Sometimes at the end of the night, just make a conscious effort to let go of whatever you need to let go, or let a thought come in. Don't be so afraid of it. Just see, like, okay, what's underneath there? If I stop having to be busy and thinking about next month right now, what is the thought that pops in? And just give it a second. Just give it a minute. Just acknowledge it. Okay. Yeah, I think we should start making some full moon water. We just put it out there and write stuff like love on the bottles, or what we want. Sometimes PJ writes big muscles. He's 5. That's awesome. Yes. That's beautiful. I know Haley, her kids stand out. Is it the full moon? They stand out with their wallets, and then they get money.
That's awesome.
In their wallet. Yeah, so they stand outside with their wallets open, and then the next day they have money in their wallets. How beautiful. Yes, to just use all of this energy for manifestation, and acknowledging that we're energetic bodies and that these things really do affect us. Very cool. My old teacher taught us that. It is cool. Yeah. Haley says, yeah, the kids go out and say, fill me up 9 times. And then they get money in their wallets. I know they do. Hi, boys, if you're watching, by the way. Okay. And got just a few
Elena says,
minutes
I'm
here.
going to do it. I know you are. Elena.
Yeah. Why not, right? Me too. Okay. There were, and what were your crystal picks for this full moon? Some people were asking a lot about the full moon energies.
I had clear quartz. I did aquamarine, green aventurine. I did citrine, blue kyanite. I did rose quartz. And I think that was it. And then labradorite as well. I like the red calcite is great. Adding that in there, that's a great one. I forget about that one often.
I know,
I haven't
it
worked
grosses
with it
me
a
out
lot.
every time I think about it. But like, I get it. Like, I still love it.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys. Got to go put kiddos to bed. Thank you for watching, Katie. And hello, Trisha, and hello, Nikki. I saw joined on in there too. So the last 5 minutes, we're just gonna kind of go ahead and talk about how you receive intuition. So when you get messages, how do they come to you? I just want to give everyone a little taste of how we all do it differently, and so that they can play with their own ways of paying attention to how spirit talks to them.
So I dream in crystals sometimes. That happens. I hear a lot. So I mostly just it comes in feeling like a memory or a sense. Sometimes I feel it in my body, but that's mostly I hear it. I think a thought, or I just sense things, I guess.
So for Melissa, I would say mostly third eye is how the information is coming through.
For me, I get it in the physical all the time. So I get a lot of license plates, a lot of, and specific people send me specific things. Like my dad sends me hearts. I was showing her earlier. I know I probably can't show it online. That's in my washing machine today. And I did a reading.
Oh, wow.
And it was her father that came through. And I know my dad, and the reading, it was reminding me a lot of my dad. And so I was saying certain things. I'm like, oh, show me my dad again. So I know he's around. So they'll literally give me stuff concrete. I'm like, well, there's no, I was putting towels in the dryer. I'm like, well, I see that heart.
Yeah,
Dad.
yeah.
It's definitely a heart. It's a piece of hair rolled up like a heart. So yeah. So
Yeah.
I get it in the physical.
Yeah, you can show it. Let me see if they can see it on there.
Okay.
Okay. I think you can see that. I know Diane, who also does the Reiki with the tuning forks. She gets a lot of things like that too. So she sees her images, and she'll be like, "That's a fairy handprint right there." And so she sees what she knows what she sees, but that's how she receives a lot of her information as well.
Mine would be I dream a lot, and then seeing as well. So that would be certain things might pop up. It's a lot to do with supplements for me, certain things. I have a thing for supplements, and so I'll just it's a knowing that I need it, or that somebody else, one of my clients, might need it, but also feeling the reflex points. So that comes with just a knowing. And then the seeing too is also seeing colors a lot with cars. So if I'm constantly seeing a lime green car, that tells me it has something to do then with the heart chakra, because that's green. So that's what I relate it to for me personally. And hearing too. So I might hear a month or a name, and sometimes smells. I might smell roses. I had that happen a couple weeks ago. And it was someone's, I should talk to you more about this. It was someone's mom visiting during, I don't usually have spirits. I must, but I'm becoming more aware of them. And so her name was Rose, and I kept hearing Rose. And then I smelled roses.
I saw Rose today at the nail salon on the back of someone's shirt, and I'm looking at it because I always, whenever I see a name on a license plate or anything,
It means
sometimes
something.
they'll show up. But you're talking
Yeah.
about it now, so I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So now we know
that's the
why.
rose. So I can
That
now I
was
know
why.
where I placed it.
Yeah, so it's like so many different things. And then through my physically is kind of can be a challenge too, because I get a lot of stomach issues. And I think that's just the way my spirit talks to me. And maybe I've ignored myself for so long that, you know, it can be a little uncomfortable, but
But I think once you acknowledge it more, that kind of stuff goes away. So again, like when you are receiving things and you do ignore them, or when you're asking for things but you don't believe you're deserving of
then
that
it goes
information,
to physical and they're
Yeah.
really
then
telling you.
then there's a blockage there
They're like, wake up.
that we create because of that. And what I want you to see with all of this is that God talks to us in a way that we understand. And so however it is that you understand, that's how you're going to receive your messages. And so if it goes back to Monica with the supplements, that's because she's taken so many supplements. She knows so much about the
And
supplements.
then you learn, and then you just know. That's what I need.
And that becomes like your alphabet, you know? So everyone gets like certain signals, and all of a sudden, like Nikki will talk about when the spirits show her earrings, she always would ask like, oh, do you have your mom's earrings? And they would all be like, no, but she learned eventually that meant their wedding ring. So she would know that when they flash earrings, it actually means that they have a ring. And so she just had to like kind of figure out the language. And so like you will be talked to in your own language, how you interpret things, understand things. And so don't try to use someone else's symbol book with all of that. Instead, try to keep developing yours and acknowledging yours and being grateful for yours so that you can keep receiving that information as simply as you can. But everyone is going to be different, and the universe, that's just how it speaks. Not even like all of this, it's a vibration of how the universe is speaking to all of us and how we're receiving that back. And we will create whatever symbols we need in order to translate that light information. Alrighty. Okay. You spoke about spiritual guides. Oh, hi, Trisha. That one's gone. Someone said you spoke about spiritual guides. Can you go on our thing? I missed the question. Oh, never mind. I thought it died. I'm not good at technology. Spoke about spiritual guides. How would you find out about their spiritual guide? About your own spiritual guide? Oopsie. You can.
How would one find out about their spiritual guide?
Ask.
Ask.
Mhm.
That's what I was going to say too.
Yeah.
Just simply ask.
Just ask your guide to present themselves to you. When I first met one of my guides, it was kind of like, and I know Nikki's done this with like Archangel Uriel, kind of came to her like in a series of different steps until she put it all together. And one of my guides too, like I would see the color purple. I felt like this regal sense. I saw gold. I saw alchemy. Like eventually I found out it was King Solomon. But it's sometimes kind of like this game. And so that you build like this relationship with them as well. So you can go to somebody and they can probably tell you who's your guide. But I really encourage you not to do that. I really encourage you to ask, to gather all the information that you can, and then you can get confirmation from others if they sense a certain guide around you. Don't take out the experience of learning to meet your guide on your own, because what you'll find too is that you and your guide share a lot of the similar traits, energy, and love and light that you want to bring to this world. So the more you get to understand and know your guide, the more you get to understand and know yourself and the things that you came here to accomplish while you're here on Earth.
Also, I have the Archangel Ascended Master book from Doreen Virtue, and after I meditate, I'll pick, like I'll either get a number, what page to go, or I'll just open a book where I'm guided, and there'll be a guide, and then I'll work with them for that day. Like,
Yeah.
I'll think about them all day. And
Like our angel cards too.
and
That would be a
it's
good one.
always
Flip
right
through.
on. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, same
Mhm.
thing.
Mhm.
And
We
it
do that with the
just-
kids at home, and then and then just like get to know them. But mine are really funny. Like Archangel Michael will come to me as Michael Knight from Knight Rider, David Hasselhoff, and he's like in my dreams. So yeah, but they're funny, and I believe that that's really him.
Yeah, absolutely. With the card too.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Kids.
Kid, yeah.
Alrighty. So any other questions, go ahead and ask us. We will respond to those and get those answered, and we will do, I don't know how to turn that off. Someone said that was a great reference book. Oh, just a little note too on Doreen Virtue. I know she like kiboshes everything that she's ever done, but when she was in that state, her books are great. So go ahead and use them as references in her cards. So even though she claims they're all the work of the devil right now, I know.
What? I
Yeah.
don't even know anything about this.
Oh,
Then
you
why-
can't.
then I don't
Someone's trying to
Yeah,
tell me. I was like,
yeah.
"No, it's okay."
but actually everything that if you have anything
Yeah.
that she did right, it's right
It
on,
is
it's
good.
truth, and it's all love in that. So Knight Rider, yay.
My kids love it.
Okay. All right. So thank you everyone for watching, and we'll be on next month. I don't know who's on next month, but we'll have that posted pretty soon. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for being with
Thank
us,
you.
Carol. Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.